the recording. Okay, I started the recording now. Okay, so let's start. Before starting OSI and TCP IP model, let us understand what is computer network. Okay, so can anyone explain me like what is the definition for computer network?
So a computer network is a group or interconnected with peoples or things, or you may call it as a group or interconnected with the computers.
Okay, so basically you are trying to say like where there are two or more devices which
Yes.
are connected to each other. They're trying to share some information with each other. Okay.
Yes.
Now, have you heard of OSI reference model?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard anyone has heard about OSI reference model? This is the OSI reference model in which we have actually 7 layers. Starting from, if I go from top to bottom, it's like application layer, presentation, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, then physical layer. So what are these layer? Why do we require this layer? First of all, what is this OSI reference model? Anyone knows what is OSI model?
So what do you mean by that?
Hello.
I know about the some type of that core network guy in working in my firm. They communicate each other and told L3 switch, L1 switch, like this.
No, that's an application of the layer, right? Okay, that's particular an application of layer. But why do we require a reference model that is OSI?
For troubleshooting?
Not exactly for troubleshooting. See, I have a PC over here, okay? And I have one more PC. So I have two PCs over here, which are connected with each other. Now I want to send some data from PC1 to
PC2.
PC2, okay?
Okay.
Now, can I send the data?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So let's assume like this PC1, okay, or let's make this as router 1, and let's make this as router 2. Okay, now router 1 and router 2 wants to have a communication with each other. Fine. Now see, when I talk about routers, so basically they will be developed by some manufacturer, correct? So there will be different vendors over here. For example, I'll say Cisco over here. Okay, now let's understand why the requirement of OSI model was there. OSI stands for open system interconnection, right? So now what this interconnection means. So previously at the early stage of networking, when the network device were like they were in trend, okay, that time only Cisco devices were able to communicate with Cisco devices. So if this router 1 wants to communicate with this router, that is router 2, it should be of only Cisco. Okay, only Cisco devices that is of same vendors, they can communicate with each other. If router 1 is of Cisco and if router 2 is of IBM, they were not able to communicate with each other. Okay, and the reason over here is simple, because if I'm the manufacturer, I'll be creating the devices of, like based upon my requirements, correct? I'll be imposing my whatever protocols I need. I'll be setting my rules over there, but same rules will not be used by other vendors, correct? If you cook some food, right? If you cook some food, for example, let's suppose I want to cook bread omelette. Okay, when I cook omelette, and if some other person also cooks the omelette, will the taste be same?
No.
No, because there will be a slight difference in your ingredients, correct? So
Yes.
yeah, if I want like I'll be adding just salt. Adil will not like salt. He will be adding some turmeric. He will be adding some red chili powder. He will be adding some pepper, black pepper. Okay. So based upon this, same things happens in networking also. Now Cisco device can only communicate with Cisco device only. If they want to communicate with other device, that is, let's suppose other vendors are IBM or Palo Alto or Juniper, they were not able to communicate because they were having some different set of protocols, and they were having some different set of protocols. Okay, now to overcome this problem, what we have done is we have taken a common reference model over here. That is OSI reference model. Okay. Now, whatever data will be sent, it will be sent by using OSI reference model. So I'm saying that, okay, if I want to send a data or any information, I'll be following these rules. Okay, I'll be working according to these rules. So these rules will be applicable for all vendors now. Got it?
Right.
So that's
Okay.
the reason why we are studying about OSI model. So I'll give one more example to you. Have you heard of BlackBerry phones?
Yeah.
Yes.
So nowadays they are not in like very much in use, but there was a time where people were like crazy about BlackBerry phones. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you remember, there was a feature in BlackBerry phone. You remember or you recall it like BlackBerry Messenger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it as BBM, BlackBerry to BlackBerry Messenger. Correct. Now that Messenger application was only supported by BlackBerry phone.
BlackBerry. Yes.
If
Yes.
I'm having Nokia or if I'm having Samsung, was I able to install BlackBerry Messenger? No, right? So it was
Yes.
only created for BlackBerry phones only. So other phones they cannot use it. Same things happen over here. Okay. Now when OSI reference model was not there, there was a difficulty in communicating with other vendor devices, because see, if I want to have a communication with Adil, I'll not know like he is using Cisco routers or he is using some other router. So what I have to assume is whatever data transaction we are doing, it should be happening with the same set of protocols. That's the reason we will be using OSI reference model over here. Okay. One more thing is like you can also take it as an example of language. So language in the sense, see, we basically in India we speak Hindi, right? But if you want to communicate with any foreigner, they will not understand Hindi, correct? Because they will be knowing their own native language, correct? Or their national language. But
Yes.
if I want to have a communication with any of the person in any part of the globe, okay, I have to take one common medium of language. So over here we take English, right? We talk in
Yeah.
English. So English is acceptable by everyone over here. Everyone basically
Yeah.
understands what is English. So that is nothing but the main function of your OSI reference model. Got it? Any doubts in that?
No.
Okay. So when I talk about OSI reference model, there are basically 7 layers. Okay. So if I go from top to bottom, the first one is the application layer. Then we have the presentation layer. We have session layer. We have transport layer. Then comes the network layer. Then the data link layer and the physical layer. Okay. So the top 3 layer is known as the upper layer, or it is known as the software layer. The middle layer is known as the heart of OSI model. Okay, we'll come to know, we'll study like why it is known as heart of OSI model. Then the lower 3 or the bottom layer is known as the hardware layer or the lower layer. Okay, so now we'll see one by one what does this layer means. So first one is the application layer. If you go from top to bottom, okay. Now application layer is responsible for providing networking service to the user. Now networking service means, see, if I want to browse something or if I want to send some data, I need some application, right? I need some interface through which I'll be sending the data. So over here, your browser can act as an application layer. For example, if I want to go to cisco.com, so through this application, I'm trying to access the cisco.com. So I'm sending some request to the cisco.com, correct? If I want to access my Gmail, so I'll be accessing it from the application layer only. So this is the main function of your application layer. So you can see like my Gmail has been opened over here. So this is the main function of your application layer. Okay. Now it is also known as the desktop layer. Over here, like basically you will be just trying to put some requests. Now your browser is not only the application layer over here. If you go to the command line, so this is also an application layer, correct? Now if I want to ping some IP address, that is 192.168.1.1. So this is actually I'm trying to send some data, correct? So this will also be working as an application layer over here. Okay. Got it? What is application layer?
So you okay, yeah. So
Any doubts?
what do you mean by means like so it is also called as FTP, file transfer protocol?
Not that the application layer. Basically, just
Uh-huh.
understand what is application layer. Okay, those are the
Oh,
protocols which you are talking about.
oh, okay.
Okay, so don't mix up the things over here. Now over here, ports entry and exit points of the layers are identified. That is nothing but the total ports over here. So what is ports? Anyone?
The numbers
No,
which we
no,
can
no.
connect.
The meaning of port.
Usually the port is like
Anyone? Imran Kostub, do you know what is the meaning of port? Or have you heard of
Uh,
port?
port means maybe used in a network door as a network doors.
Yes, exactly. So ports are nothing but a socket or a door. Okay. For example, if I am working in an institution or in any organization, if I want to enter the organization, there will be some port, correct? There will be some door. Only through that door I can enter the organization and I can leave the organization. Correct? So
yes.
that is nothing but the ports. So we are having different types of services. We are having different types of protocol. So one of the protocols or services you can see over here is this one. So can you see over here, I am having a service that is HTTPS.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a kind of service. Now to identify that service, I will be using the port number. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Okay, let's suppose we are working in an IT organization. Okay, now to enter the IT organization, there is one door over here. Correct? There will be one door over here. But how to identify like which person works for which department? So I'll say that, okay, pink one is for IT people, yellow one is for accounts people, then I'll say blue one is for sales people, and black line is for marketing people. Now through this colors, I will be identifying, okay, this color stands for this department, this color stands for this department, this color stands for this department. Okay, now through this color distinguishing method, I'll identify like which department it is. Same way, whenever you are getting some data, okay, whenever you receive that data, it will be seen through the application layer. Correct? Now over here in the application layer, through the ports number, the data or the services will be identified, because I should know whether it is a TCP service or whether it is a UDP service, because in TCP service also there will be many other things, and in UDP service also there will be many other things. So to identify it, I'll be taking port. Okay, if I don't distinguish them by port numbers, it will be very difficult for me to understand them, because see, if I give you tons of data and I tell you to process the data, will it be easy for you to process?
No.
No, it will be very hectic for you, right? So rather
Yes.
than that, what I'll do is I'll just segregate the data into small chunks, and I'll tell you, right? Okay, this is the accounts thing, this is the IT thing, this is the marketing thing. So you have to segregate the work accordingly. So that will be easy for you to understand. Okay.
Okay.
So here there are different services. Okay, that is HTTP. We also call it as hypertext transfer protocol. Then we have FTP, which is also known as file transfer protocol. Then we have SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. Then we have telnet. Okay, so don't worry about this protocol. We'll discuss. So over here, whenever I'm getting a data, it should be identified like which service it belongs to. Okay. Now for HTTP, I'll be giving some other port numbers. So I should understand like for HTTP, which port is there. So what I'll be doing is whatever data I'll be receiving, I'll be just sending that data. That is, if I'm getting any HTTP request, I'll be sending that HTTP request from that port number. So there will be no congestion over here, because for each and every service, what I'm doing is I'm creating special path or special door I'm giving, right?
Right.
So over here, you are having like services that is HTTP, FTP, SMTP, Telnet, and TFTP. So over here, we are having port numbers that is 80, 21, 25, 23, and 69. So through these port numbers, each and every services will be identified. So if I'm getting any HTTP request, it will be sent to the port number 80 over here. If I'm getting any FTP, it will be sent to port number 21. If Telnet or TFTP, it will be sent to 23 and 69 respectively. Got it?
Yeah.
Any doubts?
No.
So you said the FTP regarding the something you said at the before. I'm saying that the FTP protocol. You said it's not an application or something.
No. You're mixing the things over here. What is your doubt? You want to know what is FTP?
Yeah.
So basically, FTP is a file transfer protocol. Okay. For
Yeah.
example, if I want to send you some data, let's suppose I want to send you one text document. Okay. So I'll be installing FTP server inside my PC, and you will be having FTP server inside your PC. So when I'm transferring the data, if I'm sending the data, there will be one client and there will be one server. Okay. Now, if I want to access some data from you, so you will be the server and I'll be the client. Okay. Now my PC should understand like what service I'm using. So over here, as I told you, I'm using FTP. So it will send the FTP data from the port number 21, which will happen in the application layer. So this is the application layer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm using FTP service over here. Now, whatever data comes over here, it will be visible to me over here from this side, correct?
Right.
So over here, I have to distinguish whether it is a FTP service or whether it is some other service. So if it is a FTP service, so it will be sent through port number 21 over here.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have the next one is presentation layer. Now, what is presentation layer? So basically, presentation layer is responsible for maintaining the data format. Okay. Now, suppose I'm sending some audio file to Imran. Okay. So can anyone tell me what is the extension for audio file?
Wave. MP3.
MP3 or MP, sorry, I think MAV, something like that.
Wave.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll just suppose like it is MP3. Okay. Now, when I'm sending a audio to Imran, I want that MP3 format to be as it is. Correct?
Yeah.
See, I'll show you over here. Now, suppose this is the source and this is the destination over here. Okay. Now, from my PC, I'm sending some audio file to Imran's PC. Okay. So over here, whatever audio file I'm sending, it should be in the MP3 format only. Because if you see in this network, there will be some other things also. Okay. Or there will be a chance like your packets will be dropped, or due to some connectivity issue, or due to some noise, this MP3 format or this MP3 file will be converted into some other junk format. Okay. So to avoid that, I will be using presentation layer over here. So that is the main task of your presentation layer. Basically, what it will be doing, it will be maintaining the format of data which you are sending. Okay, the standard format. So if you are sending a JPEG image, it will be in the JPEG format only when it is received by the destination side over there. Okay, now we have encoding, we have encryption, and we have compression. So this will be happening in the source side and this will be happening in the destination side. Okay. Now what is encoding?
Encoding.
Yeah. What do you
Encoding,
understand by the meaning of encoding or decoding?
For encryption, use for encryption.
No, encryption is different over here.
Decoding is used for decoding.
No.
Encoding.
Encoding is done on the source
Mostly
side.
like said.
Yes,
Encoding.
Okay.
Can you,
Means like it is mostly the code numbers which we can decrypt it.
not exactly like a code number, but you will be using some standard format to bind your data. Okay. Basically, you will be binding the data, that is encoding. So you will be binding it to some data format, and decoding will be done on the destination side. Then you have encryption and decryption. Kaustubh, can you tell me what is encryption and decryption? Anyone who knows the meaning of encryption and decryption?
Encryption for data means important data, some kind of thief not able to access the data. So that
So
kind of it's
basically, encryption is nothing but you will be securing the data by using some
yes,
encryption
yes,
algorithm. Okay. So over
yes,
here, we use some keys to bind our data. Now, if anyone wants to go inside my house, they require the key, right? So the
yes,
one who is having the key only can open the door. Correct. Same thing. If I want to send some data or some folders, I will be encrypting the data. It can be anything, like you can use any algorithm to bind the data. Okay, that is encryption. Basically you will be doing it for the safety purpose. Then we have decryption. Decryption is nothing but the reverse of encryption,
yeah.
which will be done on the destination side. Okay, then we have compression and decompression. What is compression and decompression?
Yeah, it's like zip. I know the application zip file, zip, WinZip, compress the file
Yeah,
like
but why
this.
we have to do that?
Because the size of data may be decrease the size of data.
Yeah, but why we
No,
want to decrease the size of data?
you see, sometimes some kind of space required a space, then same space not available, then we can
No, not like
compress the
that.
data.
So it's basically, if I show you one folder over here, can you see this folder?
Yeah.
So in this, inside this folder, I'm having multiple files over here, multiple PPTs over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's suppose I want to send this folder. I want to send the entire folder to someone. Okay. If I send it directly, there will be a chance like this PPT, they can be deleted or they can be lost inside in the network. Okay. Because there are n number of reasons due to which this can happen. Plus there will be a chance like this, the alignment of the folders or the alignment of the PPTs will be changing. Okay. Now to avoid that, what I'll be doing is I'll be just binding them together and I'll be creating one single file. That is a zip file. Okay. Now if I send the zip file, it will be acting as a single file over here. But in reality, is it a single file? No.
No.
There
No.
will be many files inside it. There will be Word document, text document, PPTs, anything, Excel sheet, anything, right? So now to avoid the data loss, I will be using compression and decompression. Okay, that is one reason. Now the second reason is for your size. Okay, now see, whenever I try to send some data, if it is a 10 GB file, it will be not sent at a single time. It will be like, it will be taking a lot of time to receive the data. Correct. Now to avoid that, I will be compressing the data. So compressing is nothing but I'm not deleting anything. I'm just reducing the size by using some extension over there. Okay, that is your compression.
Like making in one bundle.
Yeah, you're just trying to bundle it together so that that bundle will be acting as one single file. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. So if you have any doubt, you can stop me at any time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next layer, the third layer, is the session layer. Now what is session layer? Okay. So over here I created one session. This is a session, right? This is one session. This is another session. This is third session, fourth session, fifth session, like this. Correct. So these tabs over here are nothing but the sessions which I've created. Okay, that task is done by the session layer over here. So session layer is responsible for creating and maintaining this session over here. So over here there are different tasks which you can see in the session layer. The first one is creating a session. Now over here, if I want to create anything, I have to go over here on the tab and I have to just tap over here. So if I want to access flipkart.com, so this is what I've created this session. Okay. Now the next task you can do is managing a session. Now managing a session means from one session I can go to the next session. See, I went to the next session, third session. So when I shift or when I change from one session to another session, can I see any buffer or glitch over here? See, from this Flipkart, I'm going to Cisco. Is there any overlapping over here?
No.
No, it's just I can clearly see the things. The things are not getting overlapped over here. Now, why this happens? This happens because of the session layer. Okay, session layer is taking care of that. So your two or multiple session will not bind together. So the third one is deleting a session. Now deleting a session means now I created a session over here, that is flipkart.com. Okay, after doing my work, I just did some work over here. Okay, some browsing stuffs. Now after my work has been done over here, I'll just delete the session over here. So this is nothing but the deleting a session over here. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have different things which we see in our session layer. So the first one is authentication. Now, what is authentication?
Authentication means like we are giving the authenticating, the accessing.
Yes, very good. It's basically the access. Okay. Now, if I want to access my Gmail account, what it will be taking? It will be taking the username and password. So basically, what is it is trying to do? It is trying to authenticate whether I am the genuine user or not. So that is the task of your session layer. So session layer will be responsible for that authentication. Okay. Basically, I'm trying to authenticate whether you are the right person or not, whether you are the genuine person or not. The next one is authorization. What is authorization?
To get an access means like if suppose that if you are taking an appointment or something for a doctor appointment, we need to have the appointment. So to get to see the doctor.
No, not exactly authorization is that. So basically, if I try to, if I go to amazon.com. So can you see amazon.com over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the Amazon logo over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like this logo. Can I change it?
No, you can't able to change it.
Because I'm not the authorized person to do that. Correct? I'm not the authorized person to do that. So that is nothing but a authorization. I don't like the search bar over here. Can I change it to can I change from the top side to on the left side? Can I change it?
No.
No, I cannot do because I'm not the authorized person. Now, who is the authorized person over here who can change the things?
Amazon.
The administrator, who
Administrator.
the Amazon administrator or the web developer. Only he can do the thing, right? Because he is the authorized person to change those things. Correct. My only task is over here. I can just browse the things over here. I can just log in. I can just shop the thing. That is nothing but your authorization. Okay. Now the next one is
Counting.
restoring a session. Have you heard of restoring a session?
Restoring means maybe the, for example, if we working and the power cut down.
Very good, very good, very good. That's nothing but you're restoring a session.
Yeah,
So,
restoring
so
session.
basically, see, I've opened multiple tabs over here. Okay, and just let's take like I'm working on these tabs. Okay, now due to some power failure, my laptop got shut down or my PC got shut down. Okay, now after restarting it again, when I go to the Google Chrome, I'll be getting one tab over here saying that do you want to restore your sessions or do you want to restore the tab? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So that is nothing but you're restoring a session. So whatever things you have left off, it will start from that thing. Okay, you don't have to start everything from the scratch. You don't have to log in again. All the things will be saved over there. Okay, now the next one is synchronization. What is synchronization?
Means systematically. It's one by one, step by step.
Okay, have you ever watched dub movie? Sorry, sub movie, sub.
Subtitle movies.
Yeah, subtitle movies.
Yes, yes.
So in that, have you seen whatever audio they speak, we don't understand. That's the reason why we are watching the subtitles, correct? But the subs which
Yeah.
appear on the bottom, it is having a sync over there, correct? Whatever audio they say, though we don't understand the audio, the sub will be matching the audio, correct? So that is
Yes.
nothing
Yes.
but your synchronization. So over here, session layer is responsible for maintaining the synchronization. Because
Synchronization.
if you see, that subtitle will be having a subtitle file, correct? That will be an individual file. Now to merge that file with the audio, that is the task of your session layer over here. Now one more thing, one more example for synchronization is, have you seen videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now when I watch stuffs on YouTube, okay, there have you ever encountered like the audio is playing first, then the video is playing?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, so that is the reason why synchronization is required, because there will be n number of reasons why. First thing will be the internet issue, correct? If you don't have
Correct.
fast internet, that will be happening, that is, it will be not in the synchronized format, correct? The second reason may be like the one who has uploaded the video, in that raw file only there will be some error, like the audio and the video has not merged properly. So that is one more thing which will be the reason for not synchronizing the video over there. Okay, so these are all the tasks which will be performed by the session layer over here. Got it? So just note down these things, it's important. Okay, one more thing, are you having pen and book with you? Are you noting
Yes.
down the things?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just note down these points, okay, and just make your own notes, like keywords, like what authentication means, what authorization means, what session layer, what, sorry, synchronization and restoring means, restoring the session. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. So the whatever you told right now is going to be on the section layer.
Yeah, it happens in the session layer. So each and every layer over here is having its own task or own operations. Okay. Now, whatever we discuss now, that is authentication, authorization, synchronization, restoring a session, that will be taken by your session layer. Okay. That task and that responsibility is given to my session layer. So session layer will be working on that. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then we have the, okay, I'll just send the link again. This link will expire now. Then we'll start the transport. Okay. I'll just share the link again now on the group.
Okay.